Okay, welcome to the Fanboy-Free Zone. This is an honest review, a full review of my experience with the Galaxy S3 over the last 2 weeks. There's not going to be any spin, there's not going to be any bias. I use and appreciate all the mobile OSs, the ones that matter anyway, Android and iOS and Windows Phone 7. And you can take this review and make your own decision, an informed decision about whether or not this phone is for you and what I think are the pros and the minuses of this handset. The Galaxy S3 is probably one of the most sought after devices for 2012. The S2 was hugely successful around the world, and so a lot of people are looking forward to getting their hands on the S3. Starting with the hardware, Samsung changed it a bit. They've rounded the corners on this guy compared to the S2, which was a lot more boxy. In terms of the other change they've done, they've made it a lot more substantial. I wouldn't necessarily call it significantly heavier than the S2, but it definitely has more heft to it. And the feel, this new polycarbonate plastic has a more solid feel than the S2. The S2 sort of felt cheap, kind of like a TV remote, a lot of people said. And so this definitely feels better. This is the marble white version. There's also a pebble blue, which is quite stunning as well. The white here is definitely a pearly white as opposed to a flat white like you see on the iPhone. Very, very nicely designed. Really, really nice to hold on to. Very sleek. Not especially slippery. Actually, it does have a little bit of a grip to it. I don't know if it's the type of plastic or what, but nice. Definitely nice to hold on to. Feels good in your hand. Continuing on with the hardware, we've got an 8 megapixel camera in the back with a LED flash and an external speaker. Power button on the right side of the phone. Micro USB with a microphone on the bottom. And volume rocker on the side. Headphone jack. Removal port. Thumb notch right here. And noise cancelling microphone there. Sensors. Front facing camera. Gorgeous 4.8-inch Super AMOLED display with a pixel count of 720 by 1280. Not AMOLED Plus, which some people were complaining about, but we'll get more into the screen in a little bit. So now that we've talked a bit about the hardware, we can compare it to some of the other phones that we have here. HTC One X, another really, really good phone. iPhone 4S, another really, really good phone. You can see hardware-wise, S3 very similar to the One X in terms of its overall size. One X I would say has a nicer build. This polycarbonate on this phone is a lot more substantial feeling. Nicely designed camera inlay, nice unibody construction, very thin, feels really good in your hand. The screen on this, just the tactile feel of this, very smooth, very, very nice to run your fingers across this screen. S3 similar but not the same. I would give the design award to the One X on this phone. iPhone, you can see screen substantially smaller, 3.5 inch versus the 4.8. So thin, and also thinness-wise, I think the S3 is quite a bit thinner as well. But the iPhone is old. You know, this design is almost 3 years old now, and so this guy's going to get updated here in a couple weeks. So we'll cast him off to the side for now and talk more about the S3. And we'll actually get rid of the One X too. But so we'll move on to some of the software features of the S3 that when Samsung had its announcement for the S3, they touted the software as being the biggest upgrade, and so this phone was quote unquote designed for humans and whatever that means. But the software in this guy it's running Android 4, so it's running Ice Cream Sandwich. So it is the newest version of Android. Very smooth, not totally lag-free. I think that some people were talking about Jelly Bean 4.1 being substantially smoother than Ice Cream Sandwich, and my suggestion is if you want a smooth phone, you buy an iPhone. So Android definitely has some lag to it. But overall, the software is really good. They've added a lot of neat features with the S3, especially with their motion settings. In here we can go and look at motion. Where is it? Right here. Some cool features. Direct call. You can pick up the phone if you have somebody's information on there, like from a text, and just pick it up and put it to your ear and it'll dial. Or if you get a phone call, you can just flip it over and all of a sudden it'll mute. And so you can play around with these motion settings. Lots of cool features there. What else do we have in the software department? Of course, Android 4 does have the data usage monitor, which is not new to this phone, but it is part of the Android 4 platform, and so that's pretty handy to have if you have a limited data plan. Otherwise, everything on here is pretty much what you've seen with Ice Cream Sandwich. Nothing substantially new other than what I just talked about. So we'll talk more about some of the other features that are included. S-Voice, which is similar to Siri on the iPhone, where you can push this and say, find me the closest pizza place, and see what it comes up with. It's gonna go to Google Maps and look for pizza. So pretty good. You know, it's probably not as good as Siri. I think if you look at my other video, compare them, you'll notice that the iPhone does do that a little bit better, but still a neat feature to have. The GPS on it is rock solid. It definitely locks on really quickly, even up here in Alaska, where some stuff is, you know, the satellites are pretty low to the horizon, and so it finds, you know, it's got a lock right now, and so it's good. Very good. Map software with Google is always very good. Let's see what else we have. I did find a couple bugs with the Galaxy S3, and so you can check my other video about the bugs. Nothing major, just a bug with Google Voice and a bug with the navigation, but I'm sure Google and Samsung will work together to get those fixed rather quickly. Rear camera on this guy, 8 megapixels, very, very good, very, very sharp, very good colors. I don't know if you can see that. They also included a macro focusing ability on here, so you can like push the focus on something really close, and it actually does a really good job. If you look at some of the photos from this phone too, the pictures are just outstanding. The quality and the sharpness and the color is just really, really nice. So the camera on this thing is great. Probably one of the biggest reasons I don't use the One X every day is because of the camera. I like the One X design, I like Sense, I don't like the camera in this, and I don't want to carry an extra camera, so I don't take that, excuse me, I don't carry that phone with me. I carry the S3 because of the camera primarily. We'll move on to some other stuff here. A lot of people are wondering about battery life, and I get about a day's worth of use out of a single charge, and you know, that's okay. That's probably on par with most of the other Android phones. That being said, I do get about 2 days of use on the HTC One X, and so the One X probably has a nicer user experience in terms of the battery department. iPhone, always a good candidate for battery life. That being said, I do root and install custom ROMs and kernels on all my phones, and so this phone has a nice new ROM and new kernel on it, and it has been rooted, and I do get about 2 days of use out of this now that I have that custom kernel in there. And so the flexibility of Android, which is really great, allows you to install custom ROMs and do things with your phone that you can't do with other operating systems, and so you can manipulate it and you can customize it to how you want it, and so that's a bonus. But another thing some people are always concerned about is expandability, and so this is the 16 gigabyte version of this phone. They also make a 32 gigabyte version, but the really nice thing is that you do get the micro SD card slot in here as well. So if you want to load that up with some music or save your photos to it or whatever, definitely a nice feature to have with expandability. So if you get something like the HTC One X, which has a unibody construction and there's no removable back door, you're stuck with the storage inside the phone. So 16 or 32, I think, on this guy, and that is it. So sort of a downside to having this nice unibody construction is there's no removable battery door with memory slots. So keep that in mind. All in all, I would definitely give this phone a huge thumbs up. I think Samsung really nailed it with their software tweaks as well as the hardware change. I really like how it feels in my pocket. I really like how it feels in my hand. Lots of people ask about it. Lots of people are interested in it. They want to know, what it is and what version is it, and oh, is that the S3? And so people are excited, and I think they have reason to be excited because it's a really sweet phone. Is it going to be good 2 years from now when your contract needs renewal and you need a new phone? I don't know. But if it's on par with the S2, it's likely to be a real winner. And I would definitely say go out and give this a try. You probably won't be disappointed. So thanks, and check out my other videos, and don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe.